Yo, 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 it's your boy Tyrell. Got your boy B Coop.
Yo, what's up, y'all? If I sound a little crazy, that's because I'm a little under the weather, man. But it's 2019.
It's 2019, man.
What's your plans? You said you didn't want to talk about
Nah,
this.
I'm not talking about my plans.
Well, come on, man.
But I got a lot of things in the works. Like, this is going to be a
So we
great
can't get
year.
like a snippet, just one thing.
Nah, this is going to be a great year, though. I can guarantee that. This is going to be like...
Okay, I got a question for you then, and I'll answer the question as well. What was something that you set out to do in 2018 that you didn't get a chance to accomplish that you're looking to do this year?
Go back to school.
Nice.
That's something I didn't do last year that I wanted to do. Well, I wanted to do it, but I didn't put forth the effort to do it.
So what's different? What's going to change?
Oh, what's happening?
Oh, it's going down. I hear the confidence.
It's happening.
Shout outs to the young brother for having confidence.
Yeah, it's happening. So definitely last year I did everything I said I was gonna do.
Nice.
Except save. I didn't save.
You ain't save.
I ain't save.
I ain't save either. I went on like four or five vacations.
Yeah.
I definitely was losing my mind. 2018, one of the things I wanted to do was lose weight. It was working on and off, and then once I hit Bali, it just went out the window. I started eating everything in the path. So for 2019, I'm looking to do that. So hopefully that will, come to pass. I've been working on it, so it's a good thing.
I do say I've been meditating since the new year started.
Nice.
Been meditating every day. I've been working out every day.
Nice.
I don't necessarily. I want to lose a little bit of weight only because of where I was comfortable at. Because once I left, because I played basketball for about 6 years.
Yeah.
So my body was like always in shape. But once I stopped playing ball, like I was eating crazy, but I wasn't working it out as much as I used to. So
it's taboo though. Like, you just said meditate. I mean, I meditate as well. But when you hear like meditation for like men of color, you don't really hear that. The first thing you think of is like somebody in spandex. And,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, do you think that a lot of guys in your age group they're into that, or do they still have a negative?
I think some of them are. I think some of them are very aware, but you can't smoke weed like all day. Like it's just not gonna help. You can, but it's like at some point you just have to rest your mind. Like you just have to relax your body and just let your thoughts pass through, man.
We need to have a discussion on marijuana. A lot of people got bad. I mean, I don't smoke. Yeah. I mean, I probably had a few.
I mean, I don't have nothing bad to say about marijuana. I don't, but
definitely soothes the soul some way.
Sorry, mama. Sorry.
It definitely soothes the soul some way, shape, or form. And it's funny because you bring up like forms of meditation. I mean, you definitely don't want. I'm not condoning like harsh substance abuse.
Yeah.
But if you get a glass of wine. Every once in a while, you may eat something, that may calm your soul. It's okay. Yeah. But meditation is really good. In fact, a lot of times when I do workshops with young men across the city, I have them meditate. And when they first got to do it, they like, want to be macho and stuff. Like, what you mean? I remember one time I was doing a workshop. My man was like sitting up in the chair, like he was sitting on a park bench. I'm like, yo, bro. Like, chill out, son.
Yeah, just relax.
Yeah, just relax.
It's so crazy. And I had someone I was dating at the time. She kind of like taught me. She practiced Buddhism, and she kind of taught me that yeah, it's crazy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Just but she taught me that like meditation, it comes in like different forms of meditation. Like you don't have to just like sit down and hum with your legs crossed.
People
like,
got this
it's
crazy.
like just relax. Like just
black folk crazy.
Yeah.
Like you want to know something like mindfulness and meditation? You could be walking down the street. Real talk. This is a form of meditation. This is a practice. And take your hand, like literally your hand, and as you walking down the street, if you're walking by a fence, and just rub your hand across the fence as you're walking down the street, and be present with it. Like feel.
You do that?
I mean, I've done it before. Practice. Yeah, like,
I can't see you walking down the street. Just rubbing on that.
I mean, you look a little crazy, though. You want to do it like early in the morning when there's not many people outside.
This black bearded man just
walking down the street with his hand swinging on the gate. But I mean, that's a form of meditation. A lot of times too. And it's so funny. Pyro was just like right behind us, right behind me. He was like, "Yo, man, I'm thinking about this stuff I gotta write down." That's like meditation when you write down your goals and your to-do list and the things. That's consciousness. That's just like you fixating on a certain thing for a certain period of time. Some people be like, yo, when you meditate, you got to clear your mind. If anybody can clear their mind, they're Superman.
Right.
Like, nobody can do that. It's impossible.
I've learned that your day starts when your day starts.
Yeah. Facts.
So as soon as I wake up, I meditate and I make my bed. I make sure I make my bed every day just to have that form of like discipline.
Yeah.
You know, I make my bed no matter like how late I am or anything. If I'm late, it's on me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But I have to make my bed before I leave this house.
No doubt. And again, that's being mindful. And I think that's how we really get our goals to be, as consistent and sustainable as possible. Because a lot of times people have vision, people have goals, but they don't have that discipline to do their X every single day. And I mean, when I mean X, I mean like whatever you set out to do for the day, you make sure that you make it happen. And what I've started to do is I started to do little small goals every single day. So I'll have like on my laptop a sticky note and I'll cross off every little thing. And that's a form of mindfulness because I'm seeing the things that I'm doing. Yeah. So that way I'm not losing sight. And if you do that for 365 days, you'll get everything that you want to accomplish.
It's the minor decisions that are gonna impact you in the long run. Son.
Facts.
And I've learned that. Like I really and that's why this year, like I'm not wasting any time. And I hate the sense of like a new year, like I'm one of those people that like fresh starts.
Yeah, definitely.
I like fresh starts. So this year, I like everything I've said that I was going to do so far and more has been done.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I do, I don't do it out loud, but I do New Year's like every 6 months. So every 26 weeks, I kind of like start a new set of goals.
Right.
Because it's hard for me to think that far out. Like, by 2020, I'm going to have a mountain. Like, no. By 2020, I'm going to have the foundation. And then looking at I assess what I did, what I didn't do. And then the next 26 weeks, I sit down and try to figure out what that's going to look like. And it works better for me. Because if I think too big, the next thing you know, I'm going to try to pull the spaceship out of the sky.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, goals are good, man. If you don't have purpose, you don't have vision.
And the small goals are most important because I think it is those times when we have like those huge goals.
Yeah.
They're not like so easy to obtain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
it's like we don't know we missing all these pieces. Once we do get that big goal accomplished, it's like a bunch of screws missing. You know what I'm saying? So I just think to focus on the small things first.
Nah, definitely. Do you feel like guys in your age group, they set goals? Because it just seems like, and I know I'm always like critical, and I don't think I'm real critical. I care for young men of color and their success, but it seems like it's like more spontaneity that happens. Why is that? Why is it like that in your age group?
I think we're just trying to test things out. I think we're in the age of, I think more so your generation was, you got one thing, you stick to it. Our generation is, if I want to do this, I can do this too.
Yeah,
I can do this too. So we just kind of move around in this like creative space.
Yeah.
A lot of us. Do you think your age group sets goals?
I think we do. I'll be honest with you. I think a lot of us, we get caught up in being worker bees. And once you hit like a certain age, like I'm 36, so once you hit like 30, you start thinking that you're gonna die, like subconsciously. So we try to like power.
I thought that at 20. I'm not seriously. I started thinking that at 20. I'm like, yo, my life is, and I really is talking to you so much. It's like, yo, you so young.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was like, nah, like this is like I'm a grown man now. Like,
I agree. I think it's associated with like, our culture, and we always kind of like we start behind the ball. We start with like lack of access.
Right.
So we like always on this hamster wheel. But when you hit like 30, you start getting nervous. You get real nervous, and you tend to take less risks, and you hold on to things. You hold on to work, jobs, relationships, just because you feel like if it's over or if it ends, it's over. So, but what I do see nowadays, because of your age group, a lot of middle-aged 30 and early 30-year-olds, we're like really pushing, like, you know what? It is what it is. Like we're gonna take that leap of faith. We're gonna create whatever we want to create. And even when you look at today's government, like it's like, why even try to put ourselves in a situation where we're gonna hold on to a job for 20 years that's not ours? So
can you explain this whole shutdown thing to me? Because I'm not really into.
Yeah, so I'm like glued to it. And the reason why is because I get contracts, so I'm like waiting for them say that state government is affected
Yeah.
by it because most of my work is
that'll stop some of your money.
Hell yeah, it will stop a lot of my money. So we definitely don't want that. So what I've been watching is like Trump's goal. I mean, he don't really have a goal. He just is trying to distract from things. But the federal government, there's a lot of federal employees, federal correction officers, federal agents, agriculture people, people who test water, or anything that you can think of that deals with like everything, right? Even from testing medicine and things like that. All of those employees get paid through the federal government, which is ran by the president and Congress, and they kind of like determine where the money goes and things like that. So because they can't agree on what should happen when it comes to federal border security, they don't agree, and then they don't allow the money to pass. Like that's how crazy it is. So once they get to an agreement, they pass what they call a piece of legislation. That legislation now goes to the president. The president signs it, and then miraculously money starts flowing again. So it's just all a group of old people who are making a determination on what's best for the country or what's best for us, and they hold our money up, or they hold those people money up who work and take care of their families. So, you know, and
there's nothing we can do about that.
Nothing you can do about it. Nothing. I mean, you could protest.
He is the only person that can sign off on it.
Well, they can't. It can't be a situation where they decide that as a Congress, because there's enough of them, that they want to kind of like override what he's saying, but then he can veto, and it goes back and forth. But from what I understand, I think I could be wrong. They can determine or go over him, and then I guess it goes to the courts and stuff like that.
That's just crazy. What do you think the distraction is for, though?
Because he about to go to jail.
What's going on with that?
I mean, Trump has been doing a lot of bad things. He's been dealing with a lot of adversaries to America when it comes to like Russia, so on and so forth. He's been putting money in places that he shouldn't. He's been obstructing federal investigations. His goal for 2019 is to destroy democracy. Yeah, man, a lot of people.
My mind is telling me no.
Oh God, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that next time.
Yo, but this dude is having panic attacks.
Yeah, who? Kelly?
Yes.
Man, skip him, man.
Yo, he's talking about he's been having panic attacks and his daughter betrayed him. And
yo, listen, here's it, and we're gonna talk about this on the next show. We're gonna end out, but the sad part is, here's the sad part, that I read an article and it stated that he went to like a club in Chicago, and when everybody found out that he was going, it packed out, and then it was like so cold, and I'm not sure. I'm gonna do more research, but what was said was that it was women in the audience screaming, "Take me hostage!" Like, so it's
you playing,
bro? I wish I was. So like definitely on the next show we need to really dissect.
How sick are we? Because I'll be completely honest. My first initial reaction is they lying.
Why?
Because I just feel like they always tearing down black men, right?
Okay.
But as I watched it, as my eyes started, I was like, something
exactly.
isn't right.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. Like,
yeah, something.
Here's what we need to understand.
But that wife, though, I don't really know if I can trust that wife too much.
Why? You can't trust that woman?
For holding. If someone has done something like that to you,
nah, bro.
Why would you hold on to that name like that? Right?
I'm gonna tell you.
And it's like, why now?
There's a movie on Netflix, and I'm gonna give it to you offline. What happened is that when the age of 18, right? It's still a very impressionable age. So if you find a person who can manipulate that mind intentionally, no matter if she get 18, 22, 26, 40, 50, she has already been conditioned to undergo whatever abuse or whatever it is that the perpetrator decides that they want to do. So she keeps the name because she's still, even though she's not physically there, she's still
there. Yeah,
she's still in bondage to his ways. Man.
It's sickening. So did you finish the whole thing?
I couldn't get through it. It was crazy, but what I did do was I went back to all his records and I listened to him like from a different lens, and I was just like, this is insane. And then another thing is like one of my boys, he posted a video of him and he was like on stage like in the 90s, and the dude ran across the stage with like an 18 and over kind of like poster.
And it's like, what like?
That's sick. And then like, what we need to realize is statistically 1 out of every 6 women are abused or deal with sexual abuse in some form of fashion, and then 1 out of every 9 little girls deal with that. And it's not to negate the fact.
What is that number for men though?
I think it's like 1 in 30. So it's a larger number. However, what we don't factor in as men of color. Now, I went on Facebook, and we're gonna end out because we want to really dissect this on the next show.
Yeah.
But just to wrap up, I went on Facebook, and one of the things I don't like is, like, to your point, I don't like when we group all men of color into one box because of a few.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that can't happen because we are 13% of this population in America, and we're already at a disadvantage. So, like, we have to, in some way, shape, or form, have more conversations about the great things that are going on for men of color. However, when you, for young men, because we're taught so many different things about what masculinity is, without even realizing it, we are misogynist. Like, we come from a place of dominance. We are looking for a form of power and validation in the society as a whole. So, who else than the women that we are around all the time, right? If the world is not giving us the just due and the power, sometimes we tend to take it out on those closest to us, or so we need to work on that.
That's deep.
Yeah, so we definitely gonna like dissect that a little bit more on our next show. And yeah, man, what we gonna call this? Goal setting.
Yeah, I guess so.
2019 breakthrough.
Nah, the Tyrell was late.
Tyrell was late.
That's what we gonna call this one.
AKA get here.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Peace.